Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, as the holidays heat up, we have help on how to beat getting burned. Have you stashed enough cash to make your money last? We'll offer advice to assure that you'll always have an income. Then, it's still fun to play at the YMCA. We'll point out programs that engage older adults. Plus, PPOs, EOBs, HMOs will spell out the importance of understanding insurance terms and titles, just FYI, and how to give to still get a tax benefit.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. The holidays welcome the warmth of family as we gather in homes filled with candlelight, a roaring fire, and piping hot, delicious dishes. So what could go wrong? Well, all of those indoor accents can be a cause of concern for burns. Nurse Bridget Gill has joined us in the Metro Health studio to stress seasonal safety. Bridget is the Pediatric Trauma Program Manager and the Burn Outreach Coordinator for the Burn Care Center at Metro Health. So welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Do we really need to rethink how we actually celebrate the holidays?
I don't think it'll come to that. I think what's important is that people be mindful that some activities around the holidays, cooking, decorations, things like that, have inherent dangers that they should be aware of and pay attention to prevent those injuries from happening, but nothing that would alter how you celebrate your holidays.
Oh, okay, so let's talk about some of those tips. Let's start with the care we need to take with candles.
Okay, people like candles. Candles are very popular around the holidays for decorating. You just want to be careful where you place them. You don't want to have them near curtains or anything flammable. You also don't want to have them where pets or children could knock them over or touch them. That could lead to a fire. It could also lead to a burn injury. So especially if you don't have kids in your house, just being mindful if they're going to be around for the holidays or visiting, to be careful where you put the candles.
And blow them out at the end of the night.
Never leave them lit and go to bed. Blow them out. Blow them out.
Next area is the fireplace.
A lot of houses with fireplaces that burn logs, you want to make sure that you maintain your fireplace. Have it inspected, make sure that it is properly cared for. Don't burn anything in the fireplace that should not be burned in a fireplace. And again, with children around or people visiting for the holidays, you want to be careful because the front of the fireplace can actually get very hot very quickly. Occasionally in the burn unit, we do see children that have touched the front of the fireplace, the glass enclosure, and they've burned their hands. So you want to be careful and keep kids away from there.
Okay. When it comes to the kitchen, there really isn't safety in numbers, correct?
Not in the kitchen. Not in the kitchen. A lot of families congregate in the kitchen around the holidays. I know mine does, but not typically while we're cooking. Especially, again, if you're not used to having kids around, you don't want them running through the kitchen while you're cooking or carrying hot food. It can get knocked over, or can cause an injury. You want to make sure that there's sort of a safe zone around the stove when you're cooking so that there aren't kids within 3 feet of the stove is usually what we recommend to keep them out of there. Again, cooking around the holidays with turkeys and hams, these things that are heavy that you're pulling out of the oven, you want to make sure you're cooking it in the proper pan so that it's not a flimsy foil pan that may bend and cause the liquid to splash, which can cause a burn injury as well.
That would be awful.
Yeah, and we do see that around the holidays.
Oh boy. So how about trimming the tree?
Well, you want to be careful with your tree again, too. Another thing to be mindful of. Don't use flammable decorations, and be careful where you place the tree. Don't put it near a heat source, a heater, a radiator, a heat vent, a fireplace. You also don't want it blocking an exit from your home, so be careful where you put it. If you have a live tree, you want to make sure that it's got water at all times, and you want to get rid of it as soon as it's dried up.
Okay, so even if we take all these precautions, sometimes somebody might get burned.
True.
What do we do then?
Well, initially you want to stop the burning process. So you want to get the burn, a small burn, under cold water, not ice. That has a tendency to make burns worse, and you don't want to use butter or margarine that will trap the heat in and actually make a burn worse. Just cold water is actually the best initial treatment for the burn.
And Metro Health has a burn center, right? In case it's really bad. Tell us about that.
The burn center at Metro Health Medical Center is verified by the American Burn Association to take care of both pediatric and adult patients. So we have specially trained staff, therapists, nurses, who all work together to make sure that our burn patients have the best outcomes.
All right. Hopefully none, but at least there's some place to go if there is some kind of a burn. We want you to have warm memories of this holiday season. So make these safety changes to avoid being burned, because as Metro Health says, change is healthy. My thanks to Bridget for sharing these important tips for seasonal safety.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Next, income planning for the ages. But first, in the United States, pedestrians always have the right of way. But there's one city in the world where four-wheel drivers won't stop for walkers. Can you name a country's capital that gives automobiles such autonomy? We'll drive by with the answer when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
In Beijing, China, when you cross the street, you're not just trying to get to the other side, you're trying to stay alive. Drivers don't need to stop and can even be fined for waiting for walkers. So if you visit the Forbidden City, make sure to walk this way carefully.
Now you may be ready for retirement, but is your budget? Daily costs continue after you've exited your employment, so you need to be sure you have enough assets to support your lifestyle. Jim Lineweaver is here with help. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Welcome back to the show.
Good to see you, Lori.
So are most people prepared so they can sort of relax into retirement?
Well, you'd like to think so if you worked all your life, right? You want to enjoy those golden years, but unfortunately, there's a recent study done of people over the age of 55, and it says basically that 30% of the people, are prepared for retirement, the rest are not. So it's a real big issue that a lot of people, might have to rely on Social Security, but you're not going to have the lifestyle that you want in retirement if you're not putting enough money aside.
So is there a magic formula that we can use to retire comfortably?
Or just press a magic button, something like that. No, unfortunately it doesn't exist. So what you really have to do is you have to coordinate, obviously, the accumulation of your assets through the years. Make sure that you're going to be in line with those type of expenses that you want to utilize in retirement. You'll have to take into consider taxes and things along that nature. So it can get pretty complicated.
Okay. Where do we start then?
Well, first what I really want to do is look at your expenses, because you can make all the money in the world, but if you're spending more than you have coming in, it's just not a good formula. You're never going to succeed in retirement. So when you take a look at your expenses, you really want to break them down into about 3 different categories. So there's non-discretionary, which is going to be your necessities, your food, utilities, housing, things along that nature that you have to have. Your discretionary side of that is going to be, the wants, or in other words, dining out, traveling, maybe buying a new car, but the one you have is only 3 or 4 years old. You don't have to have it. And lastly, it's going to really be like your emergency funds, where unexpectedly a storm hits, you need a new roof, you need unexpected, dental work done or things along that nature that you just weren't planning for.
Okay, now we know our expenses. What do we do then?
Yeah. Well, now what you want to do is you actually also have to look at the type of income sources that you're going to have in retirement. So we break this down into like a guaranteed income and then also a variable income. And your guaranteed income is going to be things like your Social Security, maybe pensions that you have, things along that nature that no matter what happens in the economy or the market, you have that guaranteed income coming in. The other side of that is going to be more discretionary. How well have you saved for your retirement? What type of reserves do you have set aside, or do you have a part-time job out there maybe to help pay for some health care costs, things along that nature. So the combination of those will provide the income sources that you have coming in to hopefully then match up obviously with the expenses that are going to be going out.
Hopefully a little bit more income than expenses.
Yes.
But So now that we know that, we've got our expenses, we've got our income, if they don't match, then what can we do?
Well, that's a huge problem. So you can't always go back to the drawing board because you don't have all those years for the rates of accumulation and that compound interest. So this is where a lot of financial planners or certified financial planners can come to play to try to help you out.
Okay.
Because what they really do, like we do for our clients, we actually have a software package that will take all the assets that you've accumulated and maybe future contributions that you have, and then we're going to look at a probability of success. So somebody that had come in not too long ago, they were only hitting about 70%. So that's kind of a, you know, C or maybe a low C or D on the report card. That's not good. We want to get up in that 90s, right? So what this program does, in this case, we got them to a 99% probability of success because we were able to shift some of their assets around, save some taxes as they're accumulating more money for retirement, and we were able to coordinate all these things because it not only looks at what you're spending today, it also has to incorporate inflation and everything down the road. So it's really, it looks like 200 years of a market study. There's a lot of probabilities in there about, you know, good timing and bad timing of when you actually retired versus what the market did, and it really pulls everything together.
Wow, sounds pretty sophisticated software.
Yeah, it can be really helpful because it's not only for planning for retirement, or if somebody's already in retirement, it can help to see if they're ever going to run out of money, which is also a good source.
That would be very bad.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Income is always important, including and especially in retirement. For help making sure your income can outlast your expenses, give Jim a call. His number's next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, why the YMCA is just right for YOU. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Have a wonderful night with It's a Wonderful Life when the Cleveland Orchestra accompanies this Christmas movie classic. Thursday, December 8th at 7:30 p.m. The orchestra will feature the film as they perform the score live. To know all the details or to order tickets, call 216-231-1111 or visit www.clevelandorchestra.com.
Are you, or do you want to be, an active older adult? Then the YMCA wants YOU. Lonnie Beverly is here to put us through our paces on why the Y has special services for seniors. Lonnie is the Active Older Adult Director for the YMCA of Greater Cleveland. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Why go to the Y for if you're an older adult?
Because we focus on overall healthy living for all of our active older adults. This includes group exercise classes, food classes, pickleball, all kinds of fun things, and also offers things that offer socialization and independent living.
So it's not just exercise, it's all of these things. So let's talk about a few of the options. First, eating and exercising.
Yes, well, those are the two that everybody knows about. Our eating, we offer classes that teach you how to eat, or more or less maybe cooking for one, or cooking on a budget. How do we eat healthy with what we have? The other is that we really are focused on meeting people where they are in their exercise routine. So we have classes, Silver Sneakers, which many are really familiar with, and then we have things like Fitness After 50, Tai Chi, yoga stretch. We also have aquatic classes, warm water pool swimming, so people can feel comfortable. We meet you where you are, and then we make you smile, enjoy what you're doing.
And you're there every day of the year, right?
Well, every day except a couple holidays, a handful, 360 days a year.
We wouldn't want to be there anyway.
No way. We also have branches that cover as far as from Geauga all the way to Vermilion, so we really we cover a large span.
All right, and the rest of the aspects of healthy living, aside from the food and exercise, which is maybe number one, what else can you help out with?
Well, we really try to focus on some of the mental aspects, some trivia games or perhaps memory games. We like to offer some one-on-one tutoring, so to speak, with some technology of devices so that people feel comfortable and familiar. We also have classes that allow you to meet new friends, because so often we have a lot of isolationism that happens as we age. So these classes allow you to make new friends and perhaps make some friends that you don't want to have, but most likely you're going to be able to go on bus trips, you're going to be able to go to lunch and learns, all kinds of really great things. And the reason why we focus on those components as well, because it's about independent living. When our seniors and our active older adults live independently, they live longer on their own. And we focus a lot about balance, and it's about fall prevention.
Oh, yeah.
And
Big
that,
problem.
believe it or not, is more about safety than whether or not your locks on your doors work. And then we also focus a lot on strength training and making our AOAs stronger. And the reason why is because things in your house weigh a lot of weight. I have ladies that love to pick up 1 and 2 pound weights every time they come into the Y. But the fact of the matter is, a gallon of milk or a can of soup weighs more than that. And they say all the time, I can't lift those, but I've been known to pull out a scale and start weighing pocketbooks, and that will certainly make them pick up a heavier weight, because most of them weigh 8 to 10 pounds.
Oh boy, yeah, I bet mine does. You also have some special programs, Live Strong and diabetes prevention.
Yes.
So
Live
what are
Strong
those?
is a 12-week program for any cancer survivor. So it doesn't matter if you were diagnosed with cancer yesterday or 15 years ago. You meet 2 times a week in a small group with 2 personal trainers, and we get you stronger. It's about reclaiming and getting back to where you want to be and helping you recover from some of the treatment, and it is at no cost.
Oh, that's great. How
Absolutely.
about the diabetes one?
The diabetes prevention program is the only one of its kind. It's a lifestyle course. It's meant to really help you change your lifestyle before you're diagnosed as a diabetic. So
prevention. Then.
Yes, it is absolutely a preventative course. It's 16 weeks for the first part, and then we keep meeting for the full year, but it's about making lifestyle changes in your eating and your exercise so that you can keep going and live independently away from medications.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. No wonder we want to go to the Y. There's exercise, bus trips, even pickleball, and more. The YMCA of Greater Cleveland makes it easy to be an active older adult. To find out more, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Lonnie Beverly for inspiring us to be active today. Thanks.
Thank you.
Learn more by calling the YMCA of Greater Cleveland at 216-263-6835 or visit www.clevelandymca.org. Up next, we'll translate health insurance terminology. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're here to show you how to work the biceps in the front of the arm by doing a simple band bicep curl. You ready to go? Let's do it. All right. We have our band, so all we're going to do is we're going to place our arch of the foot, our right foot on the center of the band. We're going to make sure our feet are offset so we don't lose our balance. Letting your arms hang to the side. All we're going to do is twist and curl the bands up. Make sure that your elbows do not move. Your elbows should be stationary throughout the entire exercise. If you're alternating arms, as I am, you can go ahead and just alternate to 30. If you're doing as Lori's doing over there, you can just go ahead and go to 20 because she's actually working both together. That's amazing. How you feeling?
Great.
Looks good. Yeah, perfect form. Good posture. You're breathing. Excellent. Keep it up. All right, everybody. Now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
PPOs, HMOs, PCPs. If you haven't lettered in healthcare abbreviations, sit back for a spell as we unravel a few acronyms with the help of Norm Steiner. Norm is the Vice President of Business Development for Medical Mutual of Ohio. So welcome to the show. So many terms I know are out there, but let's start with a couple of really important ones. HMOs and PPOs.
You're right, there are a lot of terms out there, and HMOs and PPOs are really the building block in which plans are built upon. And what it is a network of doctors and hospitals that are put together. The PPO is referred to as a preferred provider organization, while an HMO is a health maintenance organization.
Okay. They're similar but have differences in networks and things. So what are the differences?
So really the differences lie in that a PPO, or preferred provider organization, is made up of doctors and physician groups where someone has an ability to go in to a network and use those doctors and receive benefits. And if they happen to choose to go out of network and use a different provider, that's okay. The benefits will be covered. There'll be greater cost sharing. So essentially, it's going to cost a little bit more if they go out of network.
Okay, but what about an HMO? I know when the programs kind of first started, people were a little bit unhappy with the plans.
Originally, yes, because there was back when the HMO or Health Maintenance Organization was created, there was a requirement that an individual would need to see a PCP. And so before they were able to see a specialist, let's say an endocrinologist or a cardiologist, they needed to go to that PCP who's a gatekeeper. But other than that, when we start looking at HMOs, the other difference is that if an individual wanted to go out of network, there would be no coverage available there. So there was a gatekeeper requirement as well as no coverage outside of the network.
Okay. You mentioned another one of those words.
I did.
PCP, so tell us, what is that?
A PCP is a primary care physician, and back when the HMO first was introduced, it was a requirement that an individual go through the primary care physician. Today it's a little different in that an HMO is really structured as a service or a benefit that helps a patient navigate through the channel. So they can enter into the system talking to any physician, working with any physician that's in the network, and they would be able to access care. So it's a little bit more of a working to help a patient through the system as long as they stay in. Also, another part of clarification is that when we say there's no benefits for going out of network, there are some exceptions to that, and two simple ones are, in the event of an emergency, and there is a life-threatening situation, coverage would be provided. Well, that is important, right?
Yeah.
And the other is also equally important, is that in the event that there's a specialty type of treatment that's required that would not be able to be performed in that hospital, there would be coverage if they went to another hospital that was able to do that.
Okay. So difference in premiums between the two?
Yes, there is. For a HMO, there is, depending on where someone is located in the state, the pricing differential can be between 5 and 15%.
A little bit higher than the HMOs, is that?
Yes, the PPO is a little bit higher than the HMO.
But it's important you have something, right?
Yeah, so regardless of what you choose, it's important that you have coverage. And really, when making this decision, what's important is looking at your life situation and circumstances. If there are travel requirements or if there are certain doctors that you want to be able to access, it's important to understand that there is a difference in choosing between a PPO and an HMO. But the most important thing is that an individual does have coverage.
Absolutely. So let's review our healthcare spelling lesson. PPO means Preferred Provider Organization. I can't even do it. HMO means Health Maintenance Organization. And in either one, you'll have a PCP, a primary care physician. If you need more help in choosing which one is right for you, call MMO, Medical Mutual of Ohio. The number's coming up next. And my thanks to Norm for helping us understand this healthcare alphabet.
Thank you very much.
Find out more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting www.medmutual.com/go or call 1-844-606-5387. Next, giving and receiving.
Let's all wake up to better health. Walk, run, fly, find a partner, an ally, a Metro Health doctor who will listen as long as it takes, so you can celebrate every day by living it your way. Get your physical, checkup, regular screening at Metro Health, and wake up every day to better health. Change is healthy.
We're heading to the end of the year. Cold weather, snow and ice. It's also the time of year we think of others and make contributions to charities. While the giving warms the heart, there are rules involved if you want to receive a tax benefit for your good deed. Here to talk more about the ins and outs of end-of-year gifting is my legal partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
Well, what do we need to know about gifts? I mean, really, it's pretty straightforward. We give a gift, we get a tax deduction, right?
You know, it's the tax code, so there are always rules, Lori, so you got to follow the rules.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about some of the rundown of the rules.
Well, let's say you start with the type of gift. So if you give, many people will give a lot of tangible personal property that may be clothing or even a car, for example. And then you have to follow these rules the IRS has set up to qualify for a charitable deduction.
Okay, so I can't just give a bag of clothes and take off $500?
Well, not exactly. But so first of all, the stuff has to be in good condition. So if you know, the ripped shirts that are now rags, you can't give that and get a deduction. But assuming you're giving clothing and it totals more than $250, you need to get a receipt from the charity saying, basically what you got and when you gave it. And even if you are below that amount, keep some sort of records, maybe take some sort of pictures to keep track of all that. Now, if you give something like a car and you want to get a charitable deduction, the charity is going to give you something back that says, what the value of the gift is. And many times the charities sell the cars or the boats if you give them those. And you're allowed a deduction up to the sale proceeds of the car. And they'll give you a 1098-C. That's a form you attach to your tax return and take your deduction.
All right. I guess that makes sense. How about cash?
Okay, well, that's a little bit easier. So if you give cash, you need to keep records of that. You should keep, your bank statements or checks if you have those still, or if it's with a credit card statement. If it's more than $250, you're going to get something from the charity telling you what you gave, and that you need that to get to qualify for the deduction.
Okay. Any other rules we have to worry about?
Well, yeah, just the timing of it. We're getting towards the end of the year, so if you write a check to a charity and date it December 31, but you put it in your pocket and wait till the beginning of next year to mail it, you're probably not going to get the deduction.
Right.
If you do it right at the end of the year and you give up control of the check, you give it to the charity, maybe you're a church, you throw it in the little collection box, or even drop it in the U.S. mails, you should be able to get the charitable deduction. But if you're doing the mail, don't wait until December 31, because it takes a while for that check to clear, and you don't want arguments about when you really deposited the check.
Absolutely. But what if you get something of value in return for whatever you're donating?
Okay, so that's a good question. So sometimes you'll give money to a charity. Let's say you'll give it to Ohio State, and you'll get some football tickets back. Well, if you give $500 to Ohio State and you get football tickets back, you have to, whatever the value of an Ohio State ticket is, you have to reduce that by that amount. So that's to make sure that people aren't just buying football tickets and getting charitable deductions for it.
Yeah, that's not really charitable.
There are other things you ought to think about when if you're giving a large item, you may need an appraisal to satisfy the IRS
to prove
rule.
it.
Right.
So lots of rules. If it's the IRS, there has to be,
yes,
right?
That's right.
So while most people think it's nice to just give, it's also nice to get a deduction from your taxes for your gifts. To ensure that you do, please follow Mike's instructions and be careful when you pick that charity you want to give it to. Make sure it's a qualified charity or ask the charity to verify that. For more information, call Mike at the number that's coming up next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. But until next week, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.